Welcome back, True Seeker. Time for some more mind blow. Of course, we talked about how Tropicana Field got the top torn off the same day that the Tropicana Hotel was demolished in Las Vegas. And Tropicana, the orange juice brand, is headquartered in Bradenton, Florida, exactly where Milton landed. What I was overlooking is that they tore down the Tropicana Hotel to make way for the new athletics stadium. The Oakland Athletics baseball team is moving to Vegas, just like how the Raiders went from the Bay Area to Vegas. And what we're going to talk about is the undeniable parallel between the 1989 World Series that the Athletics won and the opening of Tropicana Field 137 days after that earthquake. Again, Tampa's 137 years old right now, and you might recall that the first game back after the 1989 World Series earthquake, Tampa beat the Giants 13-7. Again, this is going to blow your mind because there's a lot more to it as well. And what have I been saying about the rock from the Bay Area and these hurricanes? Of course, the Athletics are going from the Bay to Vegas, and the hurricane just went through Tampa Bay, where St. Petersburg got the worst of it. And I'll make the point about that too, which I meant to make in the last live stream but forgot. So let's just start right here. Notice how Tropicana equals athletics equals hurricane. And remember, Milton just made landfall on Florida on October 9th. The anniversary of the cartoon coming out, Milton the Monster. And we covered how yesterday all of the networks were referring to Milton as a monster. And it wasn't just that, it was also the fact that yesterday was 146 days after the anniversary of the creator of Milton the Monster's birthday. And that's Harold Seeger, born May 16th. And we just talked about how Helene just did devastation to Florida after it formed 146 days after the Rock's birthday, the former Miami Hurricane, who was just a kid when the 1989 World Series earthquake happened with the Athletics and the Giants, the Bay Area Series. Now, again, a baseball stadium's going in. That's why they tore down the Tropicana Hotel, and then the baseball stadium, the Tropicana, gets wrecked, you see? And we're going to talk about the score of the Dodgers-Padres game last night, where it fits in, because, of course, the Dodgers just broke the 32-year drought beating the Rays 4 years ago, the year Tom Brady went down to Tampa and every Tampa sports team went to a championship, and somehow the Yoo-Hoos didn't notice the very obvious rig of all of it. And let's not forget that a hurricane literally passed over Tampa the day that they won the Stanley Cup. Yeah. But here, look at this as well, you guys. Aside from the numbers, we talked about how the mayor of Tampa is Jane Castor. And Castor and Pollux are Greek gods associated with athletics. Yes. They represent athletes, Castor and Pollux. The feast date for Castor and Pollux is July 15th, the same day that Tampa became a city in history. Okay? Just think about all these coincidences. Castor and Pollux represent athletes. The Athletics baseball team is part of the ritual. The same feast date as the city's establishment. I mean, just like, where do you possibly think this is a coincidence? You know what else is wild? Tampa was incorporated in history on May 18th. Isn't that funny? Because that's the day in history that the United Nations banned weather warfare. Oh, weird. May 18th, same day in history. Oh, boy. And keep in mind, that happened in 1977, and Tropicana, the brand, was established in 77 years ago. In 1947, October 13th, was when the U.S. military did its first military experiment with a hurricane. Not far from Florida. Project Cirrus. Okay, again, if you're new here, the 4 base ciphers of the English language. The 4 base ciphers, the alphabetic order with numerology, the reverse alphabetic order with numerology. Notice how Hurricane, Tropicana, and Athletics are all the exact same with the alphabetic order, 97. We just saw Helene form on the anniversary of JFK's weather control speech, September 25th, the day leaving 97 days left in the air. In the movie Face Off, which came out in 97, the brothers are Castor and Pollux. Weirdly enough, Travolta equals 109, like how this storm hit on 10-9. When you run the alphabetic order in reverse, they're all 146. Again, Helene formed 146 days after The Rock's 52nd birthday on 5/2. Hurricane 52-146. The Rock, the former Miami Hurricane. Hurricane, Tropicana, and Athletics all 56 when you run the alphabetic order in reverse with numerology. Helene formed 56 days before Biden's birthday. Again, the second hurricane that just hit, Milton, hit on The Rock's 161st day of his age, like Miami Hurricanes is 161, where he played football. Speaking of athletes. Okay. Now, the last thing that was shown on TV before the TV cut to fuzz for the 1989 World Series earthquake was the replay of Jose Canseco, the biggest baseball star at the time, Mr. Steroids. The last thing that was shown was him crossing home plate, a replay of the game prior, a replay of Game 2. Again, the earthquake happened just before Game 3. But the last thing shown was him crossing home plate in his number 33 jersey. As we're going to, again, revisit, Tropicana Field would open on March 3rd, 3/3, 137 days later. And 137 is the 33rd prime. But Jose Canseco's 109, one of the most famous athletics, especially in modern times. The Rock, again, is 109, like military, like weather, like Ronald Dion DeSantis, for the record, too, the governor of Florida, who went to Yale. And again, October 9th is Yale's birthday. And remember, the 1989 World Series earthquake happened on October 17th. This is covered in my first book, Letters and Numbers. That was 107 days after Jose Canseco's birthday. Again, in the base ciphers, earthquake and military overlap in 3 of the 4 ciphers. Again, we've talked about why you got to look out for October 23rd, and then that's the first day of Scorpio. That entire period of Scorpio, in light of The Rock, the Scorpion King, October 23rd is 44 days after California's birthday, September 9th. But Jose Canseco, his full name, Jose Canseco Coppice Jr., is also 107 and 55. Again, all this is covered in my first book. And you just saw the headline out of the Middle East the other day on 10/7, international headlines about how the earthquake that just happened in Iran was likely created by a nuclear bomb going off. And remember, you just had the massive earthquake in Southern California where the epicenter was on the military base. That was on July 4th, 2019, 7/4, where nuclear equals 74, like weapon, like energy, like Independence Day, like holiday. Like how this nation was brought about to bring war and genocide to the world, which is all it's ever done. All these flag wavers in this country just stuck on stupid. 13 years of indoctrination, pledging to 13 stripes, saying words you don't even know what they mean. Your nation's not free. It's a military murderous machine. This is what it does, even to its own people. Bread circus and war and killing. That's what the United States of America is. I mean, the stripes on the flag literally represent blood. That's what the red's for. The sacrifice. What do they got? 9 rows of stars and 11 columns. Yeah, remember 9/11? The day that changed America? Yeah, take a good look at the flag. You'll see the 9/11 in the star pattern. It's undeniable. But yeah, anyhow, Jose, last thing shown on the screen, number 33. That was 1989. By the way, 89 is the 24th prime. The 1989 World Series earthquake happened exactly 24 weeks after The Rock's birthday, and now here we are in 2024. It's just like how Harbaugh got his 89th win at Michigan, winning the championship in 24. Mahomes got his 89th NFL win, winning the Super Bowl with the Chiefs, representing Missouri, the 24th state. It was also the Chiefs' 24th playoff win. A lot of 89-24 business this year. But now we're talking about the parallels to the 89 World Series earthquake won by the Athletics, who, again, they just tore down the Tropicana Hotel to build their new stadium there in Vegas, Sin City, as Tropicana Field gets smashed. And notice, from the earthquake to March 3rd, 1990, 137 days later, Tampa Bay equals 137. That's the 33rd prime number, and Tampa Bay is 137 years old right now. It became a city 137 years ago in 1887. Game 3, when they returned to the World Series after the earthquake, it was October 27th. They had a delay for 10 days. The A's come back and beat the Giants 13-7. Look at the game time. The official game time was 3 hours and 3 minutes. We've been documenting this stuff for over a decade, just what's going on with modern sports in the time I've been here aware of this knowledge. This is nothing new. This is what's been going on. Perfectly scripted games, perfectly scripted outcomes. Now, notice the Dodgers, who just beat the Rays the year Tampa went down, or Tom Brady went down to Tampa. Remember, he went down there at age 43, like Florida equals 43, like Yale equals 43, like football equals 43. There were the Goatville killings at Yale right before he won. GOAT equals 43. Greatest of all time equals 188. Brady won it 188 days after his 43rd birthday. But when he first came into the league, it was in the time of number 43, who won the election, the rigged selection down in Florida, where his brother was the 43rd governor. And then he was down in Florida the day of 9/11, which brought about the Patriot Act, which brought about the emergence of the Patriots, all in these rigged rituals. Anyway, the Dodgers, who just beat the Rays, again, ending the 32-year drought against them, like there's 32 sun rays on the Jesuit Order's logo. Notice they beat the Holy Fathers, the San Diego Padres, just south of LA, 8-0 on the day of this ritual on 10/9. Again, the Rock in San Andreas. We used that information to successfully forecast the earthquake that would come to California on August 6th this year, the 5.2. Again, 96 days after his birthday, when San Andreas is 96, and then the movie that he's in, there's a 9.6 earthquake. A 5.2 sync with his 52nd birthday on 5/2, when the Weather Channel debuted Once Upon a Time on May 2nd, 5/2. Again, to remind you about what they just did with Hurricane Helene and The Rock and the band The Scorpions, who have the song Rock You Like a Hurricane. That song came out January 30th, 1984, the Orwellian year. From that day to Helene forming was 239 days later, the 52nd prime, when Scorpions and Hurricanes 52. From The Rock's 52nd birthday on 5/2 to that day was 146 days later. September 25th leaves 97 days left in the year, like Hurricane's also 97. Hurricane Helene's also 146 and 259, like it formed on 25/9. Again, Cam Ward, who went from Eastern Washington to Miami, he's the Miami Hurricanes quarterback. Again, the same day the storm formed, there was a massive windstorm in Eastern Washington where he was quarterback last year. His birthday is the 146th day of the year, not to mention Cameron Ward equals 52. He has the same birthday as the singer of the Scorpions, who sang Rock You Like a Hurricane. And again, there's his name, Cameron Ward. Klaus Main is the singer for the Scorpions, same birthday, 146th day in a leap year. Hurricane Helene, also 83, like Germany, like football, like flood, like earth, like Enlil. Milton, also 83, and now Milton makes landfall on Florida on October 9th, the day leaving 83 days left in the year at 8:30 p.m. and sprawls into the 83rd meridian west. Again, where it made landfall was at 82.5 on the meridian, so you round up, it's 83 anyway. All this stuff sync with the Pope, another 56 word like hurricane, like the Astros had the big 52-56 ritual when they won their first ever World Series after the flooding of Harvey, and Matt Harvey, the first pitcher to pitch in Houston, 52 days before the World Series. And then again, that was the Astros' 56th season. Saints win their first Super Bowl after Katrina over Archie Manning's son, Peyton. And now the Tampa Bay Bucks are going to play the Saints after this flooding in Tampa. More jokes, more rigged schedule. But yeah, again, Helene was 83 days before the Pope's birthday that it formed, again, on the anniversary of JFK's weather control speech. Again, The Rock was inspired by Milton. Milton, who used to watch his dad wrestle. Again, Milton's 59 years old right now, like Jane Castor's the 59th mayor of Tampa, and this storm made landfall 59 days after the patent anniversary of HAARP. Again, on The Rock's 161st day of his age, the second hurricane passes through Florida. Miami Hurricanes, like plural. And the man with the Down syndrome, Milton McBride Rosen's got the 107 connection. Again, Milton just became a Category 5 on 10/7, the anniversary of John Milton becoming the 5th governor of Florida. Milton was the 5th hurricane to hit the U.S. this year. And Milton's last post on social media was October 7th, 9 years ago. His post before that was from September 11th of all days. Down syndrome has the same connection as hurricane, as athletics, as Tropicana, as Society of Jesus, when the first act of weather warfare was admitted to on their birthday, August 15th. The Society of Jesus is the Jesuit order who served the Pope, another 56 word. Seen the 56 on so many shenanigans from 9/11 to the pandemic. But yeah, The Rock, also the Scorpion King, going with the Scorpions and rock you like a hurricane. And again, Scorpio begins October 23rd, goes through November 21st. So beware of this time period. And again, from The Rock's birthday to the first day of Scorpio is 174 days. The Scorpion King came out on 17/4. The 5th Scorpion King movie actually came out on October 23rd, the first day of Scorpio. We get the joke there. And again, California just turned 174 years old on September 9th. And San Andreas, again, we said watch out for 96 days after The Rock's birthday. Expect that earthquake in California. They got a 5.2 in Bakersfield on August 6th, the anniversary of Hiroshima. We just got the headline about Iran and nukes causing quakes. But again, San Andreas Forge is 96. And you could argue that's the more significant number since in the movie it's a 9.6. Let's hope nothing happens on October 23rd. But now with this whole thing with the athletics and what I've been saying, it's looking more and more curious. 174 days after The Rock's birthday, again, is October 23rd. Keep in mind his full name, Dwayne Douglas Johnson's 96, like San Andreas Fault. So it is the more significant number. Let's hope they were done there with the 5.2. I'd like to think that's the case. But again, they did say that earthquake happened at 9:09 p.m., like California's birthday is September 9th. And again, from the state's birthday to October 23rd is 44 days later, like earthquake and military. Again, earthquake and military have all this perfect overlap. We just covered this. The 1989 World Series earthquake, 107 days after Jose Canseco's birthday, whose name equals 107 and 55, like earthquake and military. And the 5.2 synced up with synced up with The Rock's 52nd birthday, just for the record, California, Gavin Newsom government, they're all 52. Gavin Newsom, another one of these Jesuits. Again, Earth, Pope, Devil, Enlil, all 52. 52-week calendar named after the Pope. Enlil, the Babylonian god of storms and flooding. From the August 6th earthquake, the 5.2 to October 23rd, 78 days later. Order out of chaos fits the 78 code. So does the Scorpion King, The Rock, and San Andreas did release on the 149th day of the year, which is the 35th prime. The Rock's 35, but yeah, again, I mean, I don't know why, like, videos like this. I mean, I've been doing videos like this for over a decade. You'd think all of these would be like, you would think I'd be the record holder for the most viral videos in the history of the internet. That's the way I see it. It's like, how don't these videos spread to everybody? How come everybody doesn't want to watch this and learn about this? I mean, how many more years do we need to show this? Do they need to rock us all into the ocean? Does it need to be like a Tool's Anima album where California is literally in the Pacific before people finally catch on? You know. Maynard James Keeney, we got to get him on the stream. Talking about how he wants to flush it all down the drain. All the jokes. NOAA, the agency for this extreme weather, just like, again, the thing they just did with Helene, 66 years to the day of the other Helene storm, when Genesis 6:6 is where God decides to wash humanity away. For the record, Jesus Christ is 146 as well. What is it? Is it Luke 14:6? Is that the verse I'm looking for? Luke 14:6. Let me see if I got it. It's like the most famous one after John 3:16. No, it's not. Yeah, Luke 14:6. Actually, that's what the critics. That was for the critics, and they had nothing to say. That's not it. Hold on, I'm off my game. Is it? It's not John, is it? I don't think it's John. Oh, it is John. It is John. I'm wrong. John 3:16. Everyone knows John 3:16, but it is John 14:6. Jesus answered, "I am the way and the truth and the life. No one comes to the Father except through me." John 3:16 is the one that everybody knows because of the wrestler. Speaking of wrestling, that's the one where God gave his one and only son. All right. Yeah, it's just, I need to hook my mic back up so I can start dropping it at the end of these streams. I don't have anything else to say. I mean, seriously, you think this is some kind of coincidence and not some kind of super sick joke? Some super very well planned out and organized cabal? For all you guys who watch these videos and say there's no way man could do this, again, I don't really know where you're coming from. Do they have some spiritual dark wickedness, sorcery capability? I'm open to that, but it is man that is doing this. It is the Jesuits who are doing this, and they are of spiritual wickedness, and they are very well planned out, and they are very sophisticated, and they've been around for a long time. Again, Gary just dug up the document from 1772 where a Jesuit priest was saying they wanted to control the weather. They've been putting their minds to this for nearly 300 years. All right. Yeah, I think we hit it all. Then once I end the stream, I'll remember the two things I was supposed to say. Oh, yeah, like the St. Petersburg part. The Tropicana ballpark is in St. Petersburg. And check this out. National Weather Service. I noticed that they were 154 years old, right? They turned 154. And funny enough, their birthday is the day the Super Bowl is going to be this year in New Orleans, which got it. And then they won Super Bowl 44. A little tribute to Harp and the military, I'm sure. But the funny thing is St. Petersburg equals 154. And St. Petersburg got the worst of the flooding. The stadium got tore up here. And remember the relationship with 201 and 154. The number 201 is the 154th composite number. And again, weather control equals 201 like the Jesuit order. And it goes with Pope Francis, the first Jesuit pope, the first to live in Suite 201 at the Vatican, whose birth name Jorge Mario Bergoglio equals 201. But he's also born on Saturnalia, and Saturnalia equals 154. And sacrifice to Saturn equals 201. And Saturn worship equals 201. And Saturnian order equals 201. And Star Remphan, which is related with Saturn, also equals 154. And it's also related with Israel. And State of Israel, again, is another 201. But there's a big relationship between this 154 and 201 thing. But I just noticed, the National Weather Service putting that out. When I noticed they were 154, like I posted this earlier in the day yesterday before the storm made landfall. And I was thinking, I think they're signaling St. Petersburg, a very Catholic name. And because at this point they were like, well, we can't tell if it's going more towards Tampa or Sarasota. And it went right between. Again, here's Bradenton right between, where supposedly Anderson Cooper wasn't on a Hollywood set. But that's where Tropicana was established. So I noticed the town behind it's Lakeland. I'm sure they got some flooding today. But yeah, I will leave it there for now. Again, thank you to everyone who hits the like and the share. J. Crew chipped in 10, said, Zach, we need to figure where we can meet up and start a community. We can't save everyone, just some lack of the ability to do so. I'm tired of being surrounded by so many clueless individuals. Yeah, I hear it, J. Crew. The hard thing is the evil ones in the world have their eyes on us, and they want to disrupt everything we're doing. And if we did create a community, they would certainly be targeting it for sabotage. It's just like the one guy when I proposed this idea a few years back, the guy who was the most about it. It turned out he was an undercover Fed. And I was warned in Oklahoma City that he was a Fed by a filmmaker that came out there to meet me, and he wouldn't give me the information how he knew he was a Fed, but I have no doubt that he was telling the truth now, because that guy's deployed a bunch of trolls that sit around and harass us every day. And those trolls even harass my wife and my mom. And so, I mean, that's the tough thing. That's the tough thing about the idea of creating a community. And also, I mean, imagine we create a community in this age where there's weather warfare. We'll probably have a hurricane on top of us. Build it inland, you'll have the derecho like they took through Iowa by the numbers some years back. But no, I hear exactly your sentiment. It's that damned if you do, damned if you don't type of thing. We have to wake up our fellow man. We need to turn our fellow man into our community. And that's what I said. I mean, I realized this morning I throw out the idea of running for office and I get more super chats than normal. Maybe I needed to start doing that. Maybe I really do need to run for office, not because I really want to govern and rule over people, but because then I'd be seen as an authority and I could get on the stage. Here, move us aside, Marjorie Taylor Greene. The real one's here. Give me the camera. Here, come beat me in the debate. I'm definitely running as an independent. But no, I mean, somehow, some way, we need to wake up our fellow man. I mean, that's the only thing that can happen. Until we got everybody on the same level as us, we're all going down together. I mean, that's the reality of the situation. But I do know where you're coming from. I've often had the exact same thought. King Richard says October 9th was 1,989 days after Castor took office. Are you kidding me? Jane Castor, she's 63 years old, like Major League Baseball, 63. Took office on May Day, May 1st, 2019. What a day. Hold up. May 1st, 2019, October 9th, 2024. 1,988 days later, or if you count the span, it was her 1,989th day in office. Unbelievable. And again, Castor, related with Pollux, who represents athletes. This ritual with the athletics. Oh my God. Yeah, great one, King Richard. King Richard's on fire today. The Campbell 5150. Thank you. Thank you. It was 83 days after the Oakland mayor's birthday, too. Are you kidding me? With all the 83s we talked about? Who's the Oakland mayor right now? Is this right? Shang Thao? Shang Thao. It reminds me how China's the most open about the weather warfare. Shang Thao. She was 4 years old when the World Series earthquake happened. Hold up. July 18th, 2024. Unbelievable. Unbelievable. And this is, I mean, that's the thing too. I'm being facetious about running for office because it's all rigged, you guys. I mean, you can't win. You can't win. They're going to put in their stooges and their pawns, their Shang Thaos. I mean, you got that's how all of this stuff's always lined up so perfectly. So, oh my God, Shang Thao. It's funny because the world's largest Chinese population outside of mainland China is in the Bay Area. They have that huge Chinatown. They're like roasting dogs right on the street. Like, Trump, have you been to San Francisco? They are eating the dogs and the cats. Shang Thao's cooking one up right now. Look at her name, you guys. 97 and 146, like Hurricane? What? Oh my God. Like athletics? Remember, George W. Bush was talking about the New World Order back in 91, 33 years ago. Here we are. Oh, man. All right, I gotta get back to the things I'm supposed to be working on right now, but I just can't stop with all this hurricane business. All right, True Seeker. Thanks again to everyone who hits the like and the share. Thank you to everyone who supports the work. Somehow we're down 25 supporters on the Patreon from yesterday. How are we down after the work I put out yesterday? Great day in baseball, unprecedented work and everything else like every other day, and we're down in support? I just don't get it. We'll keep pushing anyway. Until next time.